Hello and welcome to Tabletop 24. I'm Alan.
I'm John.
I'm Brian.
And welcome to another episode of We'll Play Again, where we take a look at games that we've recently gotten to the table with a view of how quickly we can get them back to the table. With ever-growing collections, time can be precious, so we answer the question of would we play again? Today we have King of Tokyo. In King of Tokyo, we will play one of several kaiju. We are looking to take control of Tokyo and beat up everybody around us. Now, we're going to be doing that through rolling these 6 dice. On a player's turn, you'll be rolling the dice, and the results will determine what you're going to get. Now, this does have the Yahtzee roll mechanic, so you'll be rolling the dice, and you can put dice to one side, re-roll the rest, and you can do that up to 3 times. Now, you can then bring in the other dice if you wanted to roll it in the second or the third roll. So it's entirely up to you what you're going for. But you're still determined by the end of that third roll what these dice results are, is what you are going to get. Claws are attack. If you're in Tokyo, you'll be attacking everybody outside of Tokyo. If you're outside of Tokyo, you'll be attacking the monsters in Tokyo. Health, so a heart. If you're outside of Tokyo, you can gain health and regenerate health back up to your starting health. Energy, where you'll be getting these energy cubes, which you can be buying these cards, which give you different abilities, and they can also help you win the game or disrupt other players. Or you can get a result of 1, 2, or 3. Now, if you get a triple of that result, you'll be gaining that many points. If you go into Tokyo, you'll be gaining a point. And if you remain in Tokyo on your next turn, you'll be gaining 2 additional points, but you can't heal when you're in Tokyo. It's the first to 20 points. If your health goes down to 0, you are eliminated from the game. And if you've eliminated all of the players, you also could win. So, in a nutshell, that is how the game works. It is a very quick game. And we just actually played this just before we started recording. Went straight through. John annihilated everybody.
5 turns.
Yeah. So, it just shows how quickly it can sort of be played. But it's a great sort of lightweight game in that respect.
Yeah, for a family or for a lighter end of the spectrum, it's a very good game. I think it sits alongside Camel Up in terms of fun. There's always whoops and laughs and curses when you don't get the rolls, and you're always muttering to yourself, "I need that to do this," and you're always looking at the cards, and people might be picking up the ones you get. I think there's plenty of player interaction in this, and it's if you've got people who have maybe played Monopoly or Scrabble or that type of game, and you maybe want to give them something that is not seen or they don't usually play, King of Tokyo fits that bill perfectly. It's a Monopoly killer because you can play 5 or 6 games in this in the space of an hour and a half, and everybody has a good time playing this. Everybody, I think.
Yeah, and people will start to pick out their favourite characters and favourite bits and pieces.
Yeah, so obviously the theme is it's got a great table presence. These massive cardboard icons of your character, and the board's quite compact. It's quite nice. You can see quite clearly what's going on. It's got the kaiju theme. Big monsters. Fight other big monsters. So if you're into that theme, then obviously it's an extra bonus for you.
Yeah. The fact that it plays up to 6 as well, it fits into that quite sort of family gathering style game. And we've sort of looked into the term of games your nan can play. This is very much in that anybody that understands the Yahtzee role, even if they don't, it's fairly simple to explain it to them. If you wanted to, this does recommend from ages 8 and up, but you could eliminate the cards from the game and just be used the dice. Slightly different game, admittedly, but you could actually bring in younger children into that with just a little bit of rolling the dice sort of thing. And obviously, it then ranges all the way up through the age ranges, and you can get a lot of people into it. Fits into that sort of party game genre if you're out of friends and you just want to muck about a little bit, and you can bring in non-gamers for that as well, I think, quite easily.
The cards add a lovely bit of variety to the game because you're never going to cycle through the deck of cards within one game, and they all offer different aspects to the game. Shrink Ray, my son is obsessed with parasitic tentacles, which you can basically buy cards off other people. So you're stealing other people's powers, but there's ones that can bring you back to life. There's ones that improve your health up to 12. It adds a nice variety, and the power-up expansion as well, which adds the mutations to the characters, adds another bit of variety to the game as well. Because I think within the base game, just having, you've got 10 health, 20 points, that kind of, that's for me, it's just a little bit basic within the game. But overall, it's a lovely playing game. It really is.
Yeah.
I find some of the timing is a bit variable though, because really quick games like we just had can be over really quickly. But sometimes the games can drag on a little bit. I find, especially if you're sort of healing up and not quite getting people out, or if you're knocked out early, you can end up being watching the game for 5 minutes, which doesn't quite feel right to me. So I think it's something in there that can't quite articulate it. I mean, you're never waiting more than like 10 minutes before the game finishes, I think.
Yeah, I mean, there's a variety of tactics in it. Like in the game we played just now, I managed to get about 8 points on the board, then got a card that gave me 9 points, then went into Tokyo, sat there for a couple of rounds, and then rolled 5 points and won because of that. But other games you do find that you either go out early and you're sort of just sat around twiddling your thumbs because you're not playing, while the other people seem to just be healing themselves up and going round and round. And it can come down to 2 people where somebody's just sat in Tokyo City, just racking up the points, waiting to win, and they're not attacking each other. And it's like a battle of healing almost. So I can see what your point is, that sometimes you can just sit there while everybody else is just playing and think, I'm out of this now. And I've been out of it, really quickly.
So from that point of view, for me, it feels like it's, I mean, I think you disagree with this, but I mean, it feels like it's not long enough to be a longer game, but it's too short to be a filler game almost. So it feels in a weird sort of.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those you're going to be playing a lot of games of it. You're going to get it out and you're going to play 2 or 3.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think you're going to play an hour or so, playing 3 or 4 games of it, and it's good fun. You're right. I mean, he was engaging, being drawn into it, and it is a nice game for what it is. I think.
Yeah. I think there is a massive caveat with this game. It is really knowing your audience. So know who you're playing with, because it does have player elimination. You are ganging up on each other, trying to beat each other. If you are playing it to the letter of the law of the rules, if you're in Tokyo, you're getting battered every time by people around you. If you're in Tokyo and doing the damage out, you're beating up everybody else at the table. So it is a combat game in that sense. So you've really got to know who's up there. Is somebody going to get Humbridge if they get ganged up on? Is somebody going to take too much heart into it? Are they going to carry it over between games? And I think you really
I mean, I suppose in that sense, you can only attack people who are in the city. Yeah. So it's your choice almost whether you go in the city by either decide to go in at the beginning of the game or by applying damage from your dice selection to the person in the city, and then they relinquish control and sort of force you in there.
There's a nice push your luck element to that.
But you can come out whenever you like, can't you?
You can only come out when somebody attacks you. So it's a push your luck. Do I sit in there for a couple more rounds trying to get those points? I can't heal, so I've got to come out to get that health, and then somebody else is racking up that point. So
I mean, being in Tokyo, it can feel like the whole table's ganging up on you, but that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So you've got to be careful there that if you've got somebody that might be susceptible to feeling really ganged up on,
ready for it.
You really need to know your audience there, but you'll know then if that's going to be for you or not. If people don't care and they're just going to carry it from game to game and not carry grudges, take it too much to heart, I think we've got a lot of fun in it, a lot of legs in it, that sort of sense. Talking about the luck, there is a little bit of forgiving luck in this because of the artsy mechanic. So if you don't roll that attack that you need to do, you can re-roll up to 3 times. So you've got that ability there that you can do that for. So I think there is a little bit of mitigating your own luck, and these are 6-sided dice with 6 different results on. Okay, so I ended up rolling 2 2s. That gives me the power. If points potentially, if I roll another 2 on 4 dice, I can get another 2 points. That could win me the game. Is that going to be enough? Is there enough odds in those 2 dice to get? In those 4 dice to get that one result? So you can really play to the odds a little bit. Now, it doesn't always work. It's dice. It's random still at the end of the day, but you can at least try and get something out the back of that. So this isn't the only version of the game that exists. There is obviously King of Tokyo. John mentioned the power-up expansion where you're going to be changing that. We do actually have also the King of Tokyo Dark Edition, which I've got here, which just adds a slightly different bit of artwork to the game. So different colour dice and different monsters that you're going to be using, with the whole sort of highlighting colour bit. But it comes with the Wicked track where you're getting abilities. So similar to the power up, it kind of sort of amalgamates that into the single edition. You've then got King of New York, where you are trying to do a bit more area control and take over different parts of New York. And you're all moving around and trying to work your way up through Manhattan to get to be the king of that. And recently released, you've got King of Monster Island, which is a cooperative version. So whilst we said earlier, know your audience, actually, if you've got somebody there that's not gonna like that sort of take that mechanic in that's built into the game, then actually the King of Monster Island might be the alternative. There is also a big box for King of Tokyo, which is the original game with all the expansions up to a point that are all in there. So actually, I think the negative to this is there's a lot of additions of what is essentially Yahtzee roll, hit people.
The monsters don't have any individual powers at this stage, do they?
No,
They're
you
just
need the power up expansion. For
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So they're just flavors at the moment. They're all the same.
Yeah.
And they're interchangeable essentially.
Yeah. So I think it could become a little bit confusing for people if they didn't know what they were getting themselves into. They could end up walking into it going, oh, I really like that, and then see King of Tokyo Dark, and power up expansion, and different minute monsters, and then the big box, and go, well, what do I pick up?
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with a bit of variety. I mean, the Dark Edition looks lovely. It really does, compared to, it's dark, isn't it? The more fitting with the kaiju kind of grittiness, if you like. I mean, King of Tokyo original flavour is quite cartoony.
Yeah.
And to whatever detriment that is to it, they're both fine games.
Yeah, and I think I've got the Dark Edition, John's got the regular edition. I wouldn't look to get the regular edition because I've got the Dark Edition. I don't think there's enough difference in them.
No.
I think you're pretty much the same going the other way. I think it's a nice game to have in the collection. It'll probably stay around for quite a while because it just fit that party genre style. But I think, Brian, you were saying earlier that you don't own it and you didn't think you would.
No, I think about it again now and I'm watching it. I think you're right. I stand by that. I don't think I would have this game. I think I prefer some of the more variants of the other games. The King of New York, where you're doing more area control. I think that's more more draws me in more than this game does.
There's more game to King of New York than there is to this. It's more
I
of a
think that's what
game.
I think that's what my main feeling about this is. Not enough game here to make me want to go and play it. Really.
Yeah. So, with all that being said, John, would you play again?
I'd play it again. I'm quite happy when this comes out. The family like to play this. Like I say, my son, my daughter like playing this. It's perfectly serviceable. Yeah, so we'll play again.
As you probably guessed, I would hesitate to play this game again. I mean, when it comes out, I'll play it, but it's not something I'd go and choose off the shelf or ask for one evening to play again.
Yeah. And for me, I'd play again. Obviously, I own the new edition, but I think it's got a specific point in who you play it with, where you play it with, how you play it with. We had a massive discussion before. Is this a gateway game, and what defines a gateway game? I think that's a topic for a much longer discussion. But I think you might have this on more of a casual evening, have a few drinks, or have the family round, or in that situation.
There's certainly a drinking game in this.
There's definitely a drinking.
There's also a kids game in this.
Yeah.
I
Do not mix the two.
No. And I think for kids, young teens or a bit younger maybe, it's lovely. It's just beating people up. With dice. It's great.
So, thank you for watching this episode of We'll Play Again. If you haven't done so already, please check out our other videos on the channel. Give us a like and a subscribe, and we will catch you next time. Take care.